Let the people of God say amen. Let the people of God say amen again. We have come to celebrate. We have come to give God praise, to give God glory, and to give God honor. Great things that the Lord has done. I want to welcome each of you, Olivet family, friends, neighbors, and members of our community. What is truly a night worthy of our gathering on this chilly February evening for an occasion that promises to warm all of our hearts. As we celebrate 90 years of God's grace in the lives of our beloved Reverend Dr. Otis and Sister Edwina Moss. Let's give God glory. Words are not enough to express the deep love and affection that we have for you, Dr. and Mrs. Moss. But this evening, we will do our best. A village of those who love you and of whom you have been a meaningful part of our lives have put together an evening for you and for all of us to remember.
Where do I begin? 16 years ago, I remember us coming here on a cold, wintry, snowy day, a Sunday. But my heart was warmed by a welcoming Mama Moss. And the amount of feelings that I felt coming that day were mixed, and I'm sure Mama Moss has had those same feelings being married to a minister who has a very powerful and anointed and needed calling. And as a minister's wife and as a first lady, that's an emotional and a very spiritual responsibility that we take on. And I think we have an unspoken language amongst us of that responsibility, because we too have a calling, not only to God, but also to our family, to our community, and for our commitment that we have as partners with our spouses. But when I met with Mom Moss, we just connected so powerfully, and I really felt a kinship, but also a daughter. And I feel that I have been very protective of you and Dr. Moss in our connection. But I do want to say that your story that I've listened to over these years has been an inspiration to me. Your strength has given me hope. Your friendship has given me confidence. And your love has been overwhelming for me, my husband, and my children. You are truly a phenomenal woman, and you married a phenomenal man. So I thank you for being you and unapologetically you, all by yourself. Thank you so much just for who you are, for your love, for your kindness, and for your generosity. I appreciate you, and I love you from the bottom of my heart.
As Allison has said, it has been a blessing to have you in our lives and a part of our extended family. It's something that we truly treasure, Dr. and Mrs. Moss. Dr. Moss, over the years, it's amazing how God works. From first hearing you my freshman year speak in the Martin Luther King Jr. Chapel at Morehouse College, to reading one of your sermons in an edition of Best Black Sermons as a young preacher, to seeing your face in Ebony magazine listed among America's 15 greatest black preachers, to the time that Dean Carter, the dean of Martin Luther King Chapel at Morehouse, had me of all people to to give you a ride to the airport. Then it was just Hartsfield International Airport. Now it's Jackson Hartsfield International Airport in honor of Maynard Jackson in Atlanta. And he had given me the assignment to give you a ride to the airport to catch that flight back to Cleveland. Imagine that, me, a sophomore, junior at Morehouse, being asked to chauffeur the chair of the Morehouse College Board of Trustees to the airport in my car. I dang near had a heart attack. I gathered myself, I ran to my car, my 1992 red Toyota Corolla. I didn't have time to take it to the car wash. I got a trash bag and proceeded to beat away all the crumbs out of the seats. I got all the french fries and ketchup packets from in between the seats, grabbed the quickest suit jacket I could find to make myself look presentable for this daunting task. I made a list in my head of all the questions I was going to ask the great Dr. Moss, who's going to be riding in my car for at least the next 20 minutes. I would have him all to myself, his undivided attention. I had the questions all right there in my head. I will never forget it. I asked one question, and you know Dr. Moss. Takes time with every question, took off his glasses to thoughtfully answer what I asked him. I asked him one question, he thoughtfully responded, and he stopped. And I proceeded to ask my next question, and Dr. Moss in just that moment said, finished. But what he was doing, he was taking one of his famous Dr. Moss prophetic pauses. Next thing I know, we're pulling up into the airport terminal. It was time to assist you with bags and to see you off. I fulfilled my assignment. I reported back to the dean. And the rest of my questions, well, just have to wait for another time when God's grace would permit and when stars would align. And I would have the occasion to have you all to myself. Look at God. Over the last 16 years, we've had so much time together. Just you and me. From light moments of levity to serious and deep conversations about this congregation, this community, this city, and this nation. We've laughed together. We've prayed together. We've strategized together. You have put me in the room of some of the most seminal moments of civil rights history with your gift for storytelling. You have been a sage, a confidant, a trusted fellow. In my office, there is a picture of 4 men standing together on the occasion of my installation 16 years ago here at the Olivet Institutional Baptist Church. These are the 4 men who have left the most indelible mark on my ministry and would not be in ministry or who I am in ministry without them today. They are the Reverend Dr. W. Franklin Richardson, Reverend Dr. H. Beecher Hicks Jr., Dean Lawrence Edward Carter, and you, sir, the Reverend Dr. Otis Moss Jr. You, sir, are the 4th man whose example forged me and enabled me to stand and make it through the fiery furnace of Christian ministry. And for that, I salute you. I celebrate you. And I'm not ashamed to say I love you. God bless you.